when you say fired, obviously,
I didn't. You know what? I got a letter from this idiot in the office. This guy I talked about, this guy Herring. Your services and I had a lot of heat. There's a saying in WWE: if you don't have heat, you're not doing your job. You know what I mean? And I had heat. I had heat with him. I had heat in a lot of buildings. We had something called a security rider that would go out 3 months before the show to the venues, and then it was up to the venues' job to do that. And venues are like anybody else; they want to cut costs. So when I'm supposed to have X amount of guys at the back doors, X amount of guys in the parking lot, X amount of guys backstage, X amount of guys at ringside, X amount of guys everywhere, and they cut that in half, I have to go ask why. And sometimes I'm having a bad day and I get a little aggressive because they're not giving me the answers that I need. That was my job. And so I got people in buildings who don't like me or think I'm a little bit of a short fuse. I don't give a fuck. It's about the TV product. You think you think Vince would give a fuck that I'm fucking opening a can of whoop ass to these people? Oh, we got to hold our reputation. We're a bunch of fucking guys who sweat and blade and violence and curses and suck it and macho craziness. And I get a little untowards a guy in a building and they're not crazy about having me and I'm embarrassing WWE. You think Vince or Kevin don't give a fuck? Get the fuck out of here. So I had heat in the building and this guy didn't like me after a while. And then so I got a letter exactly 90 days. We were in Kansas City. We were at the Kemper Arena in Kansas City for a SmackDown. And Mark Carrano, that idiot who somehow got that cushy job at WWE, the guy who sent Mickey James packing with a trash bag, sending a trash bag to our house. I don't know how he got that job. He was lame as fuck. But Triple H or somebody made a tremendous error in judgment giving him that job. But he, and by the way, that's the first time I'm ever saying that. Hello, Carrano, you scumbag. But anyway, so I got heat in buildings. And, so Carrano comes to TV in Kansas City and hands me this big fancy envelope with like caution tape on it. It's like crazy. I had to open it. It was basically a personal letter from WWE from him saying, we're not going to renew your contract, blah, 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 blah. Hand your shit in by a certain date, blah, 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 blah. So I kind of kept it quiet. And then Johnny came to me about a month later. I think we were in Tacoma. And Johnny comes up to me with laryngitis and goes, "What's going on?" I said, "I'm leaving." He goes, "Why?" I said, "Because Herring doesn't want me around anymore." He said, "Yeah, okay." I said, "No, look at that. I got a letter." He goes, "All right, Jimmy, I can make this go away, right?" And I said, "Johnny, if there's somebody in the company who doesn't want me around, then I don't want to be around." And I'm not sure that was the right answer, but it sure felt like the right answer at the time. Johnny said, "Well, it's up to you. You let me know." And I let it ride through, and I was gone exactly 90 days later. So, who gets fired 90 days, and then gets a 90-day window to stay. And then my real boss comes in and says, "I can make this go away. Vince loves you. Kevin Dunn loves you. Everybody loves you. Blah, 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 blah." It just doesn't make sense. But when you got heat with people, you got heat with people, and you can, you have to honor that.